So let's talk Valheim. Valheim seems to have come completely out of nowhere on the 2nd of February, and in that short time it's managed to get itself over 100,000 overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam. For a game to do that on Steam is actually insane. This game has appeared out of thin air and completely blown up and become one of the most played games on Steam overnight. Valheim is turning out to be the best survival game in history, taking the genre by storm. So I see this game and I knew it was something I wanted to play. Survival games have always been something I enjoy, and the Viking theme, perfect. With this series Viking coming to a close and the hype for Viking content at an all-time high, the timing of this could not be better. So I decided to give the game a shot and share what I like and dislike about the game. So let's start with the graphics. So the first thing I noticed about the game when I was creating my character was the graphics. I was like, how has this game not loaded properly? Are my graphic settings turned down? It looked really weird. It looked incomplete on my character. But when I got into the game, I slowly realized this was the game's graphic style. I've never seen a game look so fucking bad, but so damn good at the same time. It's kind of a genius art style, because the game gives you this nostalgic feel. It gives you this classic retro feel that is nostalgic, but it's a new game, and it works perfectly. So the game map, wow, is crazy big. I really noticed the insane scale of the world when I went to go kill the second boss. It was like an hour or two by boat for the journey. Luckily the game has a portal system, so you can build a portal at your base, and then when you get to where you want to go, just slap down another portal, and then you never have to do the boat trip again. You can just go in and out the portal as you please. And every playthrough, the world is randomly generated, so the replayability for this game is nuts. It's mad how you learn one world and then you go into another one and the map's completely different and you feel lost again. There's no real landmarks on the map, but you build the map as you go. So say you find a dungeon or your little camp, you can mark that out on the map, and yeah, you just sort of build it up as you go, and it feels really fun just like charting it out. Okay, so the game music. Oh my god, it's perfect. It's a perfect vibe for the game. It's very relaxing and immersive. The choice of music for this game is a 10 out of 10. It's like complete perfection. So one of the first things you notice in game is the leveling system. So as you chop trees, your wood cutting goes up. As you run, walk and jump, those levels go up. Fighting with different weapons gives you levels with that weapon. Even swimming. At first, I had no idea what the impact was, but I found out if you just hover your mouse over the skill, it tells you what impact leveling up actually has on that skill. The energy system. So the energy system is mainly based on food. So if you eat more different types of food, you get more energy bars, and from being rested, sitting and sleeping in your house. If you're wet, I think that affects it as well. The main thing though is having 3 types of food. If you just want to build, I don't think food is actually needed. I don't think you starve to death, but I haven't really tested it. I normally just eat berries as they're absolutely everywhere in game and they're very easy to find. And I just eat a berry now and then as I'm working on like a big project, building a big house. Only seems to become a problem if you get attacked and you don't realize while you're in the middle of building. I really like the food system as it doesn't feel like you're gonna die all the time, but you're definitely in way more danger of dying in a fight if you don't eat. And obviously you're gonna have less energy as well. So next, let's talk about the combat. The combat by no means is new revolutionary combat system with game-changing new ideas. It's extremely basic, but it works very well. It gets the job done. It's as simple as that. You have blocking, you have dodging, rolling around, you have archery and loads of other different weapons. There's nothing complex about it. You got a parrying system, so if you do a well-timed block, it will stun the opponent, giving you an opportunity to get hit in. So overall, it's very simple, but it works really well, and it fits the style of the game, giving it that old school feel very well. So death in game. So dying in the game is kind of punishing, mainly because it sends you miles away, and it's a pain in the ass to go back and try and recover your gear. Like trying to go back to where you died and getting your stuff back, and you also lose some level progress. I haven't really got to grips with how punishing it is. I'm assuming because when you level up, it gets harder as you go, kind of like RuneScape, that dying late game is going to be way more punishing. But dying early game, you don't really feel it. You just got to be mindful of where you die, because you end up doing these little rescue missions just to get your stuff back. And if you've died in a really bad spot, you can find yourself dying again and again, like 4 or 5 times. And you really got to like plan it out. My advice would be have like a backup set of gear used to rescue your current gear. It could be a little bit of a pain in the ass, but overall not too bad. Another good touch in this game is that everything damages everything. There's nothing more satisfying than chopping down a tree, and then that tree hits another tree, and then that hits another tree, and there's this huge chain reaction falling down in the forest. But if a tree lands on you, it can kill you. And if you chop a tree down close to your base, you gotta think, which way is this tree gonna fall? Because that tree can fucking fall on your base and destroy it. Luckily, something that hasn't happened to me just yet. The crafting system. So the crafting system is definitely one of the better ones I've seen, because it doesn't feel like a linear path. It doesn't feel like it's set out a certain way. You just explore, play the game, come across new items. It adds everything to your recipes, and then you can just make what you want out of them. If you're at a point where you're not finding any new stuff, it's best just to make everything you can, and that can lead to you being able to make new stuff. It just feels like a natural flow. I played the game avoiding spoilers and videos, and I didn't find any issues being able to play through the game and crafting new stuff. Base building at first was horrible. It felt super finicky. I couldn't work out how to get the walls to place nicely next to other walls and not be crooked or not line up correctly. But once you get used to it, it's very good, and it's got a lot of freedom with how you can place stuff, allowing for some crazy unique builds. But at first, it was very tedious and hard to get used to. Okay, so the game has biomes. I've only really seen biomes in another game called Subnautica. So at first, you start in the meadows biome, then you find the Black Forest, which is a more dangerous biome, and then the swamp, and then mountains, and the ocean, and so on. Each brings with itself new stuff and new dangers, new resources, new trees. So if you ever find yourself stuck, you can just look for a new biome, and that's a good way to progress. But be warned, they get way harder if you're not prepared. But that being said, I love this style of gameplay that promotes exploring. The grind. This game is a fucking grind. You don't really feel it until you unlock bronze. Bronze is a madness. I will say now, if you're gonna make bronze grinding like a lot better, build yourself a cart as soon as you can to carry the bronze. And be mindful of where you're building your base. You want it to be as close to the mining as you can, but not in the Black Forest. I wouldn't recommend building a base in the Black Forest. I made that mistake myself, and oh boy did we learn the hard way. I found this stone tower, I knocked down all the walls and kept the floor for my base so I could have like a stone floor base, thinking it was a good idea. I rebuilt the tower and along come Mr. Troll, smashing it in half like it was made of paper. I'd stick to the meadows, but just like kinda close to the Black Forest, but not too close that things wander out. So, bosses. It seems like the main game is centered around bosses. There's 5 or 6, can't quite remember. I kind of see the bosses as like moving up an age. For example, you can't mine until you kill the first boss, as the boss unlocks pickaxes. I've done 2 bosses so far, and they just feel super satisfying to get done, and the boss fights have both been very unique, so I can't wait to see what the next boss fights will entail. The game doesn't feel like it's just meant to be played one way, but if you are ever stuck, you can always work towards a boss. One thing I love in this game is you can just do what you want. It doesn't feel like you're being pushed to play how the devs play. Just play however you want, and you'll come across new things, new progress, new things to build. If you're really lost, 1, you can just explore the map. It's huge and there's loads of new stuff to find. 2, you can go kill a boss. Just find your own path. Base attacks. So this game has a system where your base can be attacked. I'm not sure if someone will attack if you're not home or if you have to be there. It can get annoying if you're mid-build and you haven't eaten anything, and then all of a sudden you get this massive wave of attack. But once you get used to it, it's really fun that you can build a base and defend it. For example, our base was like fully walled off, and then one of my friends decided to build like a guard tower around the gate. So you could literally climb up the gate, lean over, and you was able to like shoot whoever's attacking the door. Was a super fun and creative way to defend a base. Reminder, this is early access, but you wouldn't even know. If nobody told me, I'd assume this was the full game. The only bugs I've come across is a few floating deers. It's mad to think how well this game's doing and it's only early access. I'd imagine this is kind of a double-edged sword, because if you change stuff and try and make it better, you could change something that's like key to the game experience and ruin the whole game. Like I see a few people complaining about energy. Changes that could really change the flow of the game. Other than a few flying deers, I can't wait to see what this game looks like when it's finished. The game has PvP. Who the hell cares? I don't know a single person who plays PvP. It's about as popular as PvP in RuneScape 3. I'd imagine after the game's been out a long time and you're like a veteran, a 5v5 could be really fun if you both start at different edges of the map and eventually discover each other. But I don't really see PvP being that good unless they up the world cap to like 50 or 100 players. That's something I would love to see on this game. But they really would have to fix how easy it is to just mine through someone's base, under their buildings, under their walls, and be a complete and utter troll. That would definitely need fixing. So solo versus with friends. So this is something I've been trying to work out myself. When I started, I played with a lot of people, and my biggest problem with that was people splitting up and going off on their own, unlocking stuff, and me just missing out. You coming back to the base and there's this new bow or this new material, new weapons, and you're just like, how, what, why? I think the best way to play the game is with 1 or 2 friends and have a rule that you just do things together. I ended up going off solo then duo, so I didn't miss out on content. So just don't metagame and don't look up guides. After you've done most things in a smaller group, then I'd recommend like a 10-man group to test yourself. So final thoughts. This is one of the best games I've played in a very long time. Any problem I've had with it have been so small and not even worth mentioning. So go try this game and try it blind and just enjoy it, explore the game. If you've enjoyed this video, let me know, because I don't normally make this type of content. If there's any games out there you'd like to see me cover in this style, just let me know as well. Any feedback's welcome, and thanks for watching.